Hi, I'm Lippy.
And I'm Grumpy. Together we're Lippy and Grumpy Do Podcasting.
In this episode, discovering planets, spare wheels and briefcases.
Yeah, Lippy.
Hi,
We're still in Lippy Towers.
we're still in Lippy Towers.
We've hardly moved.
And the dog's looking at me like I just spoke to it.
Yes, the dog's a bit confused.
Oh, he's definitely ripped up. We're back.
We are back. So podcast dog was chewing
Striked
something
again.
shouldn't be. That dog will eat anything from earplugs through
To a Happy Meal toy. That's what he was
Happy
chewing on.
Meal toy. Yeah. His other favourite are discarded contact lenses.
Oh,
Unbelievable.
disgusting.
Tumbleweeds.
Oh, yeah. I
Tumbleweeds.
hope people aren't seeing those listening to this.
They may well be. So I quite like a tumbleweed, and I quite like that image of a tumbleweed
Yes.
going through a town.
Does that make you really boring? Because like tumbleweed is a sign of, it's like used as like a picture of boredom.
Yes, or
So
not.
if you enjoy the picture of boredom,
I just think
really
a
boring?
tumbleweed is a free spirit.
I guess.
You know, it's going from town to town. It's not being
Tumbling
bothered.
along.
It's not bothering anybody. It's just doing its tumbly thing, and it is very happy. And that's why I like tumbleweeds.
Okay.
Anyway, they all seem to have turned up in a town in Utah.
Oh,
And there's some video from the Guardian where they are just inundated with tumbleweeds. It's blocked the roads, surrounded houses, and buried cars. They've all sort of ended up in one place. It's what I kind of feel.
they know that's where the Mormons live.
Oh, very possibly. I don't think it's Mormon related, to be honest. But it's what I imagine happens in the autumn when the leaves fall off the tree and then it's windy. And they just end up somewhere. They've got to end up
Yes,
somewhere.
yeah.
It's somebody's
Our garden. Yeah.
Oh, it's your garden. I don't think we've cleaned up leaves for a very long time because they just get blown into next door.
Oh, ours at the front get blown into our little random bit of plantage.
Oh, yeah.
That needs clearing out.
Yes. The other problem with leaves is that dogs and cats like to use them for toilet.
Oh, most of the dogs around here, you like to use the pole outside our house, the light pole. The light pole? What are they called?
Lamppost.
Lamppost.
Ah, well, I think we might have your things you get away with later.
Can't remember the name of it.
Remember the name of things. Well, I've noticed Floyd has just started cocking a leg and scenting. So he seems not to be too bothered about going for a wee at home. He saves it all up for the walk.
For the sense.
Yeah, so he can scent all over the place. And he will scent the same places most times. We go on the same walk, same places. Yeah. And I think there's he'll sense that
he's weed there before.
somebody else's weed, or not somebody.
And someone's weed on his weed.
Yeah,
On his
so
weed.
he has to wee on top of the other weed.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
His wee has to win.
Interestingly, though, the smaller dogs tend to lift their legs higher because then the wee goes up higher in their minds. So they appear to be a bigger dog, apparently.
Oh.
This is Lady Captain Animal Psychology.
God.
And I've noticed he does lift his leg very high, but the wee just goes straight down.
Yeah,
it doesn't go
it
any
doesn't.
higher. There's
It's not like a fountain. There's not a lot of pressure behind it.
Well, there's a fair bit of pressure, but the bit that's weeing isn't going up with the leg. So I don't know.
Yeah, you put your leg up to get it out of the way, don't they?
Well, I would have thought so, but apparently. But
Funny.
it sounds like, what do they call it? Pop science or junk science, something like that.
No, I don't.
No idea at all. Anyway, now we like a good con.
Yes.
We do like a good con. And I was reading about a man called Victor Lustig who managed to sell the Eiffel Tower twice.
Impressive.
Very, very impressive.
How are you that dumb to buy the Eiffel Tower?
It wasn't the same person twice.
No, yes.
Well,
I already own this.
the thing is that some people have a lot of money and could afford such things and think that that's okay. They can buy what they like.
Yeah, I guess.
These people tend to, they try and fulfill their fantasy. So it looks like he they say moved around Europe like a pinball, pulling various cons on people for watches. And he said he also had a knack for figuring out where millionaires were hanging out, which I guess is quite important.
Yes.
You want to know where your pool of what's the word? Marks, isn't
Marks,
it? It's going to be, and there's nothing like somewhere where lots of rich people
Yeah, and when you found one, that's where all the others will be.
Yes, absolutely. But as I say, to have done it twice is
Impressive.
pretty.
Well, I guess if you've done it once, just rinse and repeat. You knew it worked, so go again.
I know Hustle isn't a documentary,
Yeah.
but it is interesting when they say, "Oh, we're going to do that," and there's a name for what it is they're going to do.
Yeah.
And
It's a set way of completing.
Yeah, now if you've seen The Sting, then that's a set piece.
Yes.
You know, you're delaying the results of sports events so that you can affect the way people vote.
Yes, yeah.
Vote? No, bet.
Bid.
Bid? No, bet.
Bet. You're not pregnant.
I'm not, but I am old.
Yeah.
So there's a number of different monuments that have been sold.
Mm.
And like sold is in inverted commas.
Yeah, fake sold.
Brooklyn Bridge to multiple unsuspecting investors in the late 19th century.
That sounds different. I feel like that would make sense.
Yeah?
No.
No, it doesn't. No,
When you
it
actually
doesn't.
think about it.
No. And obviously the Eiffel Tower, the Big Ben,
Oh.
the tower the clock tower in London, that was sold with Nelson's column in the 1920s. Statue of Unity, in India, that was sold for 30 million in 2020, so not that long ago.
Oh, God.
Taj Mahal in 1974, and I believe Tower Bridge has been sold a number of times. And the rumour had it, because London Bridge was sold to an American. I think it's in the Arizona desert now, the original London.
Oh, the original one.
He thought he was buying Tower Bridge.
Oh, yeah, because that's what everyone gets confused, don't they? Between London Bridge and Tower Bridge. Everyone thinks they're the same.
Yes, which they're clearly not.
No.
But London Bridge, that went in. I remember that going in my life. And it's got under road heating, so it doesn't ice over.
Swanky.
Well, probably not necessarily now, but back then it was a consideration.
Yeah. Ooh.
So interestingly, Victor has a set of guidelines
Ew.
and rules for other fraudsters to use as a guide.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to include them here. Obviously, this is not a documentary. This is not an
It's
instruction.
not advice.
Be a patient listener.
Yeah.
Very good. Never looked bored, never get drunk.
Yeah, the drunk one.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Wait for the other person to reveal any political opinions, then agree with them.
Yes.
And that's right out of the FBI negotiation book.
Well, that's because it's just agreeing, isn't it? You're just meant to keep agreeing.
Well, yes, it is. Yeah, absolutely. Never boast, just let your importance be quietly obvious.
Oh.
I'm not quite sure how you do that, to be honest.
Well, yes, if you're talking to the extremely wealthy, you don't need to say how extremely wealthy you are.
No, just assume it.
Yeah.
Just for the job you want.
Yes.
Yes, I got into a bit of trouble with that because I turned up as Batman one day. Anyway, Lustig didn't end well. Got 20 years in Alcatraz.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
That seems quite steep.
Well, yeah, maybe, but...
Because Alcatraz is a pretty hardcore prison.
Yeah.
Just for selling the Eiffel Tower.
Twice. Well, the problem is he conned Americans. And they
Oh, yeah, okay.
do not like that.
Oh, I'd like to go back to Alcatraz, actually.
Yeah?
The most incredible part is the boat trip over. And obviously, if you know, like, the story of the guy that escaped or the guys that tried to escape, you're on this boat and you're just looking at the water like, how on earth did they swim this?
Yeah.
It's like freezing. It's
Yeah.
so choppy. There's sharks in there. Like, it's not a short little pop over the water. It's a decent amount of water that you've got to get through.
No, it's not swimming in Studland Bay, is it?
No. Yeah, so that's quite impressive when you're on the boat and you think actually someone's actually swam. And I think we went the year they found him. Do you remember there was the rumours that they had found him in Spain? The guy that has escaped.
Oh, vaguely, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's
I
the year
thought you
we
were going to say
went.
found him in the water.
No, they found him in Spain.
Ah.
He had been living his whole life fine.
Oh, well, good for him.
Yeah.
Well, mind you, he was a criminal, so
Oh, I
actually
mean,
maybe
yes,
not good for
yes.
him.
But he didn't commit crime again, or he didn't get caught.
No, didn't get caught. Yeah, it's very different. So we've all started new jobs,
Yes.
and it's been, well, slightly not traumatic, but it's quite stressful.
Starting new jobs, yes.
Starting a new job.
Yes.
So can you imagine what would happen if you started at NASA
Yeah.
as an intern
Yeah.
and on the third day you discover a planet?
Stop.
Yep. How cool would that be?
Oh my God, you would pass your probation immediately. I would expect a pay rise. I would not be an intern anymore.
No, absolutely astonishing.
Sorry.
Yeah.
How long? All those other scientists
Yeah.
must have been like,
Yeah.
what on earth? Like, how have we not? He's been here 3 days.
Yeah, it'd be really annoying, wouldn't it? What is even more annoying, he's got such a cool name. His name is Wolf Kuckier.
Oh, that's a sick
That
name.
is pretty good.
He
17-year-old.
sounds like someone that should have found a planet.
Absolutely.
Are they going to name it Wolf?
No, they're not. It's named 011338b for some reason.
Oh.
Yeah, they're not good like that. So it's a Neptune-like gas planet.
And how far away? Did they say?
Oh, that's a good point. It doesn't say here. It says it's 6.9 times larger than the Earth and discovered in 2021 by 17-year-old.
How have they been missing it if it's 6 times larger than the Earth?
It's a long way away.
Oh, okay.
Very long way away, I should think. And there's some fairly clever stuff they do with radio telescopes and look. They can look at. I don't know how this works. I really don't. But they're able to look at the atmosphere on a planet.
Okay.
So there's this one they found. Is it Kepler something or other, which is very like Earth. And I think there could be life there, but it's a very long way away.
It's too far to.
It's more than the bus ride.
It's more than the trip from Alcatraz back to the
Absolutely.
back to the shore. So wait, that I literally have the best image in my head of this kid going. How old?
17.
17. This kid like looking through these planets and then going to his supervisor. I'm really sorry, but is that actually a planet?
Yeah, quite. I think I found something here.
found a planet.
Don't be silly. You can't have found something. You're the intern and it's day 3.
Yeah.
You don't know where the canteen is.
Yeah.
And you've only just found a lavatory and you've found a planet.
I do feel if you're interning at NASA, you're probably a very like focused, driven person who's been very into space for a very long time.
Yeah, they're not going to take...
You're not just rocked
No.
up out of... It's not just like me turning up at NASA and
No.
going, I found a planet.
Yeah, no, it's not. Interesting. There's a book called... now I've forgotten the name of it. A Soul of a New Machine, which is... it's a factual story. If you like technology and people, it's a really good book. And it's about Data General producing the first, I think it was 32-bit mini computer. And right at the beginning, where they're putting the team together, the chap there who ran it, called Tom West, who's not a relation at all, he's talking about his hiring process, and he hired people straight out of college. And one of the reasons he did that, he says they don't know what they don't know.
Oh.
So whereas you get somebody that's quite old
Yeah.
or experienced and will go, well, this is the way I've always done it. And these are the obvious problems that prevent you sometimes from discovering something.
Other things.
Yeah, that's there because of the...
You don't try new things.
Yeah, because of the bias that you put onto it, which, you know, in experience sometimes is beneficial, but in other times is a bit of a hindrance. And in this case, I think it probably... That's true. He's
Yes.
gone, oh, what's that there?
Yeah.
Instead of going, oh, well, that's just some space muck or whatever.
He zoomed in and
he's
actually
got-
taken
yeah.
a proper look at it.
Absolutely. So sometimes having people that don't know what they do, quite, or not don't know what they do, but are less experienced.
Yeah, more willing to learn new things.
Absolutely. Or don't have any preconceptions about what things are. I mean, you know, the amounts of data they're looking at is
Yeah, ridiculous, probably.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to reality.
Yes.
Spare wheels in cars.
Oh.
So the Horse Whisperer brought a new to her car. I think it's a 2015 car. No spare wheel. So you get some tyre gunge
Yeah.
and an inflator, and that's it. No,
I don't know if I've got a spare wheel.
yeah, you have. You've got a space saver.
Oh, I do. Okay.
So it's obviously a common trend.
Yeah.
Apparently people don't have punctures, but bearing in mind how many potholes seem to
How many
rip
tyres I've
tyre-
bought
yeah,
over
exactly.
5 years,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
definitely get punctured.
Well, you've had more punctures than anybody else I know.
I don't know how I do it.
I don't.
I don't know.
Anyway, I caught a thread on one of the socials saying, remember going on family holiday to Lowestoft in an Austin, Somerset. So this is 1960s. The dad paid 50 quid for. the boot was full of tools and spares. Anyway, the big ends went going up the A12. Dad put new shells, so that's the bearings that basically connect the spinny thing with the pistons.
Oh, okay.
And on the roadside. So he did this on the roadside. So
Yeah,
dropped the
just
sum.
happened to have those.
Just happened to have them. And they got there and back.
Crazy.
And it's incredible that the amount of stuff you took with you in the 60s and 70s.
To fix your car.
Yeah, you know, the amount of stuff we took when we went to Italy in the Mini.
Yeah.
And we had a van full of spares as well.
Just in case.
Yeah, just in case. We didn't need any of it, fortunately.
Well, it's
yeah.
because your Mini broke down the day before you went, didn't it?
No.
Didn't you have an issue where someone drove it down the road and it didn't even make it to the end of the road?
No.
Oh, maybe I made that up.
I think you did.
Well, I might have done.
It stopped working on a roundabout in Italy.
Oh, no, it was before your trip to Italy when you were doing last-minute odd jobs on it just to make sure it would make it round Italy.
No, that was close. It was we were going to do the London to Brighton run.
Oh.
And I only got it back together the Friday night. And I decided to lower because the suspension's adjustable on them. And I put all new suspension on it. And for some unknown reason, at 10 o'clock on Friday night, I thought, I'm just going to wind it down a bit. I just guessed. And by the time we got the camping gear in there, the back of the car was bouncing on the tyres. And there was another problem as well, which I can't remember. So we ended up going back, fixing that, and then joining
later.
Crawley, yeah. But no, that wasn't Italy. But yes, you were right.
I was partially. I didn't fully make it up.
Now, briefcases.
I
Apparently
don't think I've seen a briefcase in a long old
they're
time.
making a comeback.
Are they?
Yep. Long seen as a dying relic, according to the Financial Times, but they're having a renaissance. Catwalks are dotted with modern cases in vintage styles, and TikTok videos tagged with briefcase have racked up 77 million views. So I have got a very nice Samsonite plastic briefcase in our loft. Samsonite.
Like the suitcases?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, they were the thing to have in the 90s.
Oh.
Very solid, very useful for fending off people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be worth a fortune.
It might be. It might be.
Yeah. So, and apparently there's a 10-year, year-on-year growth.
Oh,
of
crazy.
briefcases, which seems odd, really, because most people...
People work at home now.
Well, yeah. So I would imagine it's a briefcase with some sandwiches in it, and that's it, which is pretty much what it was in the 90s.
And realistically, around London, it's easier to carry a backpack than it is to carry a briefcase.
Yeah. And, you know, we don't have paper like we had. You know, I still have a notebook for
Yeah, it's
writing
just
stuff in, but not...
It's your laptop and a pad, and that's it.
Yeah,
and a pen.
exactly.
And your
So,
sandwich.
Yeah, so I think it might be a fashion accessory rather than anything useful. Now, according to the Daily Telegraph, manual cars are becoming a dying breed.
That's not shocking because of hybrids and electric cars.
Yeah,
Because they're all automatics.
yeah. Oh, talking of electric cars, I was watching Auto Alex YouTube channel, which is brilliant. If you like cars, and if you're a fan of old Top Gear,
Old Top Gear.
so the Clarkson era Top Gear,
Yeah.
second time round, then it's a really good channel. It's probably more car related than messing around, but there is a bit of messing around. Anyway, so he bought he thinks the world's cheapest Tesla,
Oh.
£3,500.
Oh.
It's done.
That's impressive.
450,000 miles. It was a taxi. And we don't know what the battery life is,
No.
what the state of that is, but he said it's still under the 8-year guarantee. So if the
okay.
battery
So you can
goes
just change it out.
Well, I'm not sure just is that the word, because there'll be some clauses in there.
Yeah.
And maybe one of them is you can't use it as a taxi. I don't know. So,
Or you have to be doing this amount of miles a year, or
but he said for a car that has done that mileage, you just wouldn't know it from inside. It's so good.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're all petrol heads on that channel, and so they were a bit sort of, why have you bought this?
yeah.
And then they took it out, and it just goes it's like a stabbed rat. Phenomenal. Anyway, I digress.
Digress. Anyway.
Yeah. So tests 33% up for auto only.
yeah.
I think Horse Whisperers just bought an automatic car.
Yeah. I saw the point of doing a manual test when I did my test, but actually I don't see the point in driving a manual car. Really. I don't know what the difference is other than an easier drive because you're just on the one, you're not having to change gears all the time.
It depends on how you drive and what you drive in. I've never really understood automatic 4x4s because
No.
I don't think you have the same control. I could be proved wrong, but there are an awful lot of them. And obviously, the newer ones, the newer Range Rovers, not necessarily ones that go off road.
No.
So interesting, very interesting indeed. Talking about Range Rovers, I've watched 2 videos now on thieving Range Rovers.
Oh, should go and tell our neighbours.
If they have one stolen.
No, they've got one though.
Oh, okay. So it appears, and there's been some changes to the way the keyless entry works. So you can get a fix on Land Rovers and Range Rovers. So the thing with where your keys are in the house and they use a booster
Yes.
to open it, that's been fixed. You can't.
Oh, okay, that's good.
But that's a software update that they're trying to get through. So, eventually it'll happen. It still doesn't stop you opening the car if you've got the right kit.
Oh, okay.
So that's possible. And then they have a box that plugs into the ODB2 port,
Yeah.
and that'll
Starts
start
it.
the engine. And what they were saying is what you can have is you can have the ODB port taken out, and I think it's 32 wires in there, and they'll wire up another socket completely at random.
Oh, so that
So you can't plug it into
can't
it.
guess.
You can't guess it. And then what they do, they give you a little bit like a locking wheel nut.
Oh, that
So
goes in.
Yeah, so then when you go to the garage, you plug this bit in and then the ODB port in and it works as normal.
Oh, okay.
And that stops them dead.
Oh, that's
Because
good.
they can't start
yeah,
the car there without
Yeah.
fanning around. And they're not going to do that because they want to get in. Get
The whole,
out.
yeah, the whole point is that they've been stealing them because it's been so easy to steal them.
Absolutely. And it's ridiculous. It was a bit, in the 70s and 80s, we have Fords where there was a rumour going there was only 3 keys. So you can, open one in 3
Open
cars.
any, yeah.
Yeah, so that was very interesting. So if you do have a Land Rover product, because they are the most stolen vehicle, at the moment, but any car with, modern car with an ODB2 port
Yeah.
is worth considering.
Getting this
Having
little
that
locking thing
yeah,
done.
absolutely. Right, HMS Belfast on the Thames.
Yes, I do know what that is.
You
I
do know
tried
what
to
it
book a
is?
Christmas party there.
Oh, yes. So where do you think the guns are aimed at?
Trying to think exactly where it is on the Thames.
So it's near, between London Bridge and Tower Bridge.
Is
On the
it?
south
Are they
side.
pointed at the MI5 building?
No, they're not. That
Oh.
would be treason. But they are targeted. Stop looking at it.
I don't know actually. Where are they
Scratchwood
pointed?
Motorway Services.
What? Why?
Well, they had to pick somewhere, and there was a number of places they could have gone to. They'll easily reach Scratchwood. They could also hit Cheshunt or Gidea Park or nearly Dartford.
Oh, that's quite far.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
That's quite impressive.
yeah. 18.5 kilometres at 45-degree elevation. So, but it was intentional, apparently. So they had to point them somewhere.
So they picked a place that no one would be offended by.
Well, yeah, if you've ever been to Scratchwood on the M1, you'd would probably be better off without it. They reckon they could obliterate it in seconds.
I assume they're pointed, but they're not loaded.
I don't think there's any ordnance. Is that the right word? Ordnance?
No idea.
Ordnance?
No idea.
it is. I'm not sure. One of my cousins' husbands used to work for Royal Ordnance. But then there's Ordnance Survey, and the 2 different words.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop wittering now. Now, there seems to be a golden rule with taking clothes to the charity shop in Grumpy Towers.
Oh, yes.
So you identify clothes, you put
Yeah.
them in a bag.
Yeah.
That bag
Lives.
stays indoors for a number of months.
Yeah.
Then it goes into the boot of the car and it stays there for a number of
Yeah.
months. And then it ends up at the charity shop.
Oh, yeah.
That's the rule. So we've had bags in your old bedroom
Yeah.
that have been there, and I thought, right, I'm going to get rid of these. So I keep forgetting because the door's shut.
Yes, you don't see them
Hounded.
every day.
I don't see them in there. So I thought, well, I'll leave them on the landing, and then next time I go down, I'll put them in the car. So anyway, the next thing I hear is this scream from Lady Captain, who's come upstairs with arms full of washing.
Oh,
Hasn't
walked
seen
straight
the bags,
into them.
tripped over the bags. Washing's gone everywhere.
Oh, no.
I had to make my own tea then.
Yes.
Now, this comes from Yorkshire, Yorkshire Live.
Yeah.
Apparently, there is a pure evil blackbird named Derek that has been terrorising Yorkshire Village and attacking children.
Oh, my God.
Derek?
Well, I don't know why they would have named it
Why
Derek.
Derek? If anyone can answer that, please let us know.
Also, when you're naming things, I like a bit of alliteration. So I feel like it should be called like Blake the Blackbird.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's not Derek the Blackbird.
Yes. Interestingly, on the alliteration front, we've been watching Bones, I think I said in the past.
Oh, yes.
I think we're almost at the end of it. And there's a good number of episodes per season that are alliteration.
Oh, I like alliteration.
Like the dude in the dunes and things like that.
Ooh.
Good.
Yeah, I like that one.
Not everyone, but quite a fair few. And I think that's a good effort.
Yes. Yeah.
Good effort. Nothing like a good old alliteration.
No.
Show. Isn't it some of the superheroes? Peter Parker.
Oh, yeah, they're all alliterated.
Yeah, but it was all from one. I can't remember which comic group it was from.
Marvel.
I can't remember any others now. Something Doom. Doctor Doom. Yeah.
Yeah. Who else is there? Iron Man. That doesn't really.
No.
Tony Stark. No. It's the old ones, isn't it? Well, I can't think of any.
No, I can't
Peter
think of any more,
Parker.
but there was quite a few.
There was one at least.
Yeah, I seem to remember there was a episode of The Big Bang, I think, where they met Stan Lee about alliterations, but I can't remember the details. No. So that was Marvel, wasn't it, Stan Lee?
Yeah, Stan Lee's Marvel.
We watched a very good film last night.
Did you? What did you watch?
Yeah, it was, I can't remember the name of it.
What was it about?
It was about money laundering and through art, which was very clever. Because, yeah, it had Samuel L. Jackson, who's one of my favourite actors. Somebody actually worked out the one word that I can't say on it, that he uses a lot, how much he's earned from that. And he has a staggering amount of money. So it appears a lot in the
He uses
script.
that word a lot.
Does use it a lot. Anyway, so he's a baker, but he does money laundering for some sort of mob type family people. And he comes up with the idea of using an art gallery. He said, because people pay stupid money.
Yes, yeah.
And nobody bats an eyelid. He said, so, he's got the hitman to do these drawings or these paintings. They're then selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars. And he becomes a legend. And because he's been anonymous, people want it even more.
Yeah,
it's really interesting.
It's crazy,
it was a good
isn't it,
film.
how art works.
Yeah. It does look like it's snowing.
No, that's rain.
That's right. Okay. Anyway, so that was on Amazon Prime, but we now have adverts on Amazon Prime.
Oh, with certain things.
Yeah. So there's one at the beginning and there's one after about 10 minutes. And Amazon, no.
But why are you paying for adverts? Like, what I mean, why do you get adverts if you're paying for Amazon Prime?
Yeah. I mean, you can pay a bit more and not have them, but quite frankly,
You pay enough with Amazon Prime.
yeah. So Amazon, just stop it. That's it. Stop. That's the end of the rant.
Yes, okay. Sorry, I got distracted by the rain that you thought was snow.
It does look a bit like snow.
It looks like heavy rain.
Yeah, it's very wet rain, as you would say.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you've already had one thing about pregnancy and excuses.
Yes.
I still can't remember the title of it.
Things you can get away with
Things
now
you
that
get
you're
away
pregnant.
with. So what are you getting away with this week?
This week, what am I getting away with? Oh, this one's a bit mean, but we'll go with it anyway. Cancelling plans that you don't want to do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anything you don't feel like doing. I'm really sorry, I'm having a bad pregnancy day.
Oh, dear.
But I just haven't been making plans, so I haven't really been cancelling any either. But yeah, that's quite a good one.
Yeah.
I don't feel like doing it, okay, and we'll blame it on the pregnancy.
The truth is you probably don't feel like doing it.
Yes, yeah.
Particularly an evening thing.
Definitely. Oh yeah, I went out on Wednesday evening to see some friends. I nearly cancelled, but I haven't seen them for ages, and she's due in 2 weeks. So I was like, no, I'll come because we need to see each other before the baby comes. But then I was asleep by 8:30 because I was so whacked when I got home. Then I felt like I had the worst hangover the whole next day. I was so tired and headachy. So evenings are not for me.
No. Actually,
Not for me.
Thursday night I was in bed at 8:30.
Were you?
Yeah, well, we've been getting up very early.
Yeah.
We've got a new alarm clock.
Oh.
Yeah, it's hairy and he licks your face.
The dog.
And with the mornings getting lighter.
Yeah, he's waking up earlier.
He's waking up. And the problem is if you go to the loo about 5:45.
That's him then.
He's away. Generally, though, he'll come on the bed, remind you he's there,
And then
go to sleep again, which is quite good.
just
But,
wants to say hello.
just likes to say hello, check we're there, and then go back to sleep.
Yeah.
I have to say, we've got him on a different food
And he likes it.
He absolutely loves it. And it was a chance
Encounter.
encounter. That's the word. At the Cranley Market a few months ago.
Yeah.
And it's basically human grade food. So it's things like today I think was duck
Chicken
and
and-
turkey and vegetables.
Yeah.
And we were having trouble with feeding him before, but now
Loves it.
loves it. So he's keen to have his breakfast about 7:30.
He wants it as early as he can have it.
Absolutely, yeah. It's not interested in going out for a wee, just wants breakfast.
Yeah.
So we tend to think that social media and bragging on social media is a bit of a new phenomenon. But it's
Phenomenon.
Not. It's not.
Oh.
No, if you go back to the 1800s, farmers had their animals painted to an exaggerated size to impress their neighbours. So when you look at some of the old paintings, you go, cows are not that shape. That's why. It's bragging.
they're exaggerated.
Yeah, our cows are bigger than yours.
Love
And a
that.
very odd shape.
Love that.
So you better look at those in a new light.
Yes.
That's it for this podcast. Thank you so much for listening.
You can help spread Lippy and Grumpy's view on life by leaving a review on your favourite podcast platform.
If you're not sure how to leave a review, or if you download from Spotify, there's some help at lippyandgrumpy.uk/review.
And if you would like to get in touch, email podcast@lippyandgrumpy.uk.
So it's goodbye from me.
And goodbye from him.
Goodbye.
Bye.